For 15 years, the media have been conducting a smear campaign.
They misinformed the entire population of Russia and the world.
Deliberately, purposefully giving out false, slanderous information. Thus, the television company TV Center is committing a continuing crime, which is stipulated by Article 128.1 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation, that is, libel. In this regard, a criminal complaint was filed with the Investigative Committee of the Russian Federation. To the Investigative Committee of the Russian Federation for Moscow. Address: Arbat Street, 16/2, Building 1, Moscow, zip code 1190002. From the applicant. Statement of crime. On the website of the TV Center TV company, on the page with the following address, there is an announcement of the TV show Longer against Grabovoi. The program with the indicated name was aired on October 24, 2019. Similar programs were aired with the same name annually, which testifies to the ongoing crime against Grigory Petrovich Grabovoi. Since slander is disseminated systematically in this program, which, in my opinion, contains the corpus delicti of Article 128.1 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation. The phrase in the announcement and in the film, beginning of quotation, but soon he had a powerful competitor, that is, Jesus Christ in the second coming, Grigory Grabovoi, who also began to resurrect the souls of the dead. Two charlatans clashed in a fierce struggle which ended in the sudden death of Longo. End of quotation. Is the spread of deliberately false information, that is, slander against Grigory Grabovoi on the following grounds. The judgment of the Tagansky District Court of Moscow of July 7, 2008, the prejudice of which has the only legal significance for everyone, has established that the purpose of the teachings of Grigory Grabovoi is the permanent life of any person. From the verdict of the court, Grigory Grabovoi carried out only educational activities, teaching people to control events, normalizing events, which results in a health norm. This is also established by the published ideology and practice of Grigory Grabovoi, his teachings, and numerous publications in the media. This verdict also established that Grigory Grabovoi does not harm health and life. This proves that Grigory Grabovoi always acts only to ensure permanent life. Therefore, under no circumstances does he harm health and life. The judgment of the Tagansky District Court of Moscow, dated July 7, 2008, included a record that Grigory Grabovoi reported about the resurrection in the biblical sense. Therefore, the activities of Longo cannot be opposed to the activities of Grigory Grabovoi, since the activities of Longo did not have a religious basis. There were no overlaps between Grigory Grabovoi's activities and those of Longo. Accordingly, there have never been any conflicts between them. Information about a certain energetic action of Grigory Grabovoi towards Longa was launched by the media with the aim of influencing justice in order to cause a negative attitude towards Grigory Grabovoi. This information, together with other slanderous information launched against Grigory Grabovoi by the mass media of Russia and other countries, resulted in the illegal, unfounded conviction of the court instead of an acquittal, and the court imposed an excessively harsh punishment. Therefore, according to the legal qualifications, the said actions of the media of Russia and other countries in relation to Grigory Grabovoi contain corpus delicti provided for in Article 294 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation, obstruction to the administration of justice and production of a preliminary investigation. The acquittal part of the judgment of the Tagansky District Court of Moscow of July 7, 2008 established that Grigory Grabovoi had not been in Beslan, had not promised to resurrect, and there were no question of money at all. That is, the slanderous information regarding Grigory Grabovoi was refuted by the court. But the mass hysterical reaction of the media based on this and other slander turned many against Grigory Grabovoi, which forced the court to pass on July 7, 2008, instead of an acquittal, an unlawful, unfounded sentence with an excessively harsh punishment in comparison with other court sentences in Russia. As further events showed, the decisions of the court established that Grigory Grabovoi was in custody unlawfully. Independent Russian and foreign legal experts have established that the unlawful detention and unlawful and unfounded conviction of July 7, 2008 against Grigory Grabovoi was made by the court under pressure, including as a result of the obstruction to justice through the publication of false information in the media. A judgment of September 22, 2016 of the European Court of Human Rights established a violation of the provisions of the Convention for the Petition of Human Rights and Fundamental Freedoms of Grigory Grabovoi in the Court of the Criminal Proceedings against Grigory Grabovoi, according to which the verdict of July 7, 2008 had been passed. This court established the unlawful detention of Grigory Grabovoi and the requirement to pay monetary compensation. Information about this has been published by the central mass media. At the suggestion of the chairman of the Supreme Court of the Russian Federation, V.M. Lebedev, the resolution of April 11, 2018 of the Presidium of the Supreme Court of the Russian Federation established the illegality, groundlessness, and unfairness of the verdict of July 7, 2008 against Grigory Grabovoi. This is proved by the following quote from the considered resolution of the Presidium of the Supreme Court of the Russian Federation of April 11, 2018. Beginning of quotation. According to Part 5 of Article 415 of the Criminal Procedure Code of the Russian Federation, the Presidium of the Supreme Court of the Russian Federation, based on the results of considering the submission of the Chairman of the Supreme Court of the Russian Federation, cancels or changes court decisions in the criminal case in accordance with the decision of the European Court of Human Rights. Within the meaning of the aforementioned norms, in their interrelation, the Presidium of the Supreme Court of the Russian Federation makes a decision to cancel or change the court's verdict, ruling that has entered into legal force in cases where the violation of the convention established by the European Court makes it possible to conclude that the court decisions are illegal, unfounded, or unfair. End of quotation. Thus, Grigory Grabovoi is not convicted on the basis that the European Court of Human Rights and the Supreme Court of the Russian Federation established the illegality, unfoundedness, and unfairness of the court decisions on the judgment of July 7, 2008. And these judgments were cancelled by the Supreme Court of the Russian Federation. Thus, the judgment of July 7, 2008 has been cancelled. Grigory Grabovoi has the right to rehabilitation. This information has been published by the central media and is located on the official website of the Supreme Court of the Russian Federation. This fully proves that information that is slanderous and is based on unfounded information and disseminated by a television program refers to Article 294 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation, to obstruction to justice at the international level. Since the technologies of Grigory Grabovoi have an anti-terrorist focus, the deliberate dissemination of deliberately false information about Grigory Grabovoi results in the impossibility of taking effective actions to prevent and counter terrorism, which is aiding terrorism and, in my opinion, contains the signs of corpus delicti of Article 205.1 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation. The Council of Europe Convention on the Prevention of Terrorism of May 16, 2005, which was ratified in accordance with the Federal Law number 56FZ of April 20, 2006, reads: recognizing the terrorist offenses of the offenses set forth in the Convention by whoever perpetrated are under no circumstances justifiable by considerations of a political, philosophical, ideological, racial, ethnic, religious, or other similar nature, and recalling the obligations of all parties to prevent such offenses, if not prevented, to prosecute and ensure that they are punishable by penalties which take into account their grave nature. Deliberate distortions of events undertaken by the authors of TV programs and journalists, the opponents of the teachings of Grigory Grabovoi, and not only by journalists, are practiced throughout the entire time of illegal counteraction to the technologies of saving people, according to the teachings. Thus, the authors of television programs and journalists opponents of the teachings of Grigory Grabovoi and other opponents of the teachings with them at the same time organize a distrust to the information and actions of Grigory Grabovoi and his supporters. Currently, the link on the website of the TV Center TV company is on the page with the following address, where the announcement of the TV show Longo against Grabovoi is aimed at hindering the measures to protect and rescue people from virus mutations set out in the anticipating forecast of Grigory Grabovoi. In 2002, the hard copy edition of Variant Управления Прогноз number 45 of April 2002, page 3, in the article Eurasia and Viruses, published the controlling forecast given by Grigory Grabovoi with information on what was needed to be done to protect and save people against mutations of viruses. The newspaper Variant Управления Прогноз has been registered by the Ministry of Press, TV and Radio Broadcasting and Mass Communications of the Russian Federation. Registration certificate is PA number 77-11028, dated October 31, 2001. This publication by Grigory Grabovoi of the controlling forecast for the countries of the world includes the following information. Eurasia should be highlighted. The countries of this continent should, if possible, conclude additional agreements on the non-proliferation of these problematic types of mass destruction. There are several reasons here, and one of them is a change in the concentration of the ozone layer, which may result in the appearance of mutations of infection. Mutant transformed viruses will rush back, and that part of China from where an infection has been launched will be covered by a new, very complex infection. That is why it is necessary to take care to make even local variants of bacteriological warfare impossible. Likewise, local chemical lesions can be transformed at the genetic level, weakening the gene pool of the inhabitants of Eurasia at a later date. Such problematic mutations of common pathogens should not be admitted. The work to prevent this should already begin in May. By that time, Russia may have received a proposal from China to start negotiations on this topic, and why from China it is clear. Therefore, another aspect acquires maximum significance, that is, the calm situation on entire continents. This is the point why the signing of additional intra-continental agreements should proceed according to a special program starting from May, and it would be better if the activity of such initiatives is supported by Russia. It is necessary to use against the silent bacteriological expansion not only vertical but also interstate systems of horizontal ties, which interact not only through the federal authorities but also through the developing contacts between the regions. For example, the governor of the border region can just as effectively, for the interests of Russia, get in touch with the Chinese one, and so on. Based on the current events related to the coronavirus infection COVID-19, the controlling forecast for the need to protect the countries of the world from the mutation of the virus from China has been confirmed. in the part of the forecast that, beginning of quotation, this is the point why the signing of additional intercontinental agreements should proceed according to a special program starting from May, and it would be better if the activity of such initiatives is supported by Russia, end of quotation. The forecast is confirmed by the fact that Russia offered the United Nations to join efforts in the struggle against the proliferation of the coronavirus detected in China. At the present time, in addition to stopping the spread of the virus, it is necessary to timely protect people from viruses, which were indicated in the newspaper as mutant transformed viruses. It is also necessary, in accordance with the control and forecast, timely protect the gene pool. Since May 2002, Grigory Grabovoi, in accordance with the forecast, using his patents for inventions, physical and mathematical calculations, personal abilities of the control and clairvoyance and forecasting, has been creating a device that protects against virus mutations to protect the gene pool. The device includes virus protection functions, and if viruses mutate quickly, because the elements of artificial intelligence, in accordance with the patent for the invention used in the device, produce normalization for any mutations of viruses. Currently, this device for the development of concentrations of eternal life, PK1U, has been created, has a state certificate of electromagnetic compatibility and safety, and the CE mark. It is protected by patents and registered trademarks. Hundreds of good results on protection from the COVID-19 by the operating device have been recorded. Many well-known analysts associate the illegal verdict of July 7, 2008 against Grigory Grabovoi with the fact that the public helped to prevent events that threatened people in accordance with the control and forecasts published by him in the newspapers. Therefore, the supporters of Grigory Grabovoi wrote a complaint against the journalist of the Izvestia newspaper, Sokolov-Mitrich, about the crime committed by Sokolov-Mitrich under the article Genocide. Sokolov-Mitrich tried to appeal the complaint to the Moscow City Court, but the court denied the appeal of Sokolov-Mitrich, thereby essentially admitting that Sokolov-Mitrich committed genocide by publishing the first slanderous publication against Grigory Grabovoi, which was then disseminated by other media outlets and led on July 7, 2008, with the help of those who joined in libel to the illegal accusatory verdict against Grigory Grabovoi. Currently, in many countries of the world, especially in those where there are many victims of virus mutations, a lot of work is being done to protect the teachings of Grigory Grabovoi for implementation of the technologies of the teachings that save people. Lawyers, attorneys, specialists, and many supporters of the teachings of Grigory Grabovoi are involved in the work. They reveal the corpus delicti under the article Genocide for those who prevent the saving of people using the technologies of Grigory Grabovoi. Information of the TV Center TV company on the web page with the following address, where the announcement of the TV show Longer Against Grabovoi is currently under consideration in many states for the signs of a crime under the article of the Criminal Code genocide. Since this information of slander against Grigory Grabovoi has not been refuted by the TV company, although all media outlets are widely aware of the petition to bring the anticipating focus to specialists to save people, and in which it is written that Grigory Grabovoi has developed and continues to develop technologies to prevent threats which are reported in his anticipating forecast. However, the slander in relation to Grigory Grabovoi available on the internet results in the fact that people do not react to his accurate anticipating forecasts, do not use the information of these forecasts for saving themselves. The petition continues to be signed by thousands of people and is available at the following link. The information provided, together with other evidence given in this application, according to legal assessment, fully proves the elements of the crime genocide for different countries. It is obvious that the information of the TV Center TV company specified in this statement is aimed at discrediting the largely confirmed anticipating forecast of Grigory Grabovoi published in the article Eurasia and Viruses. Through the unjustified discrediting of the personality of Grigory Grabovoi in order to prevent, according to this forecast, the correct measures to save people from the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic and to prevent the use of scientifically and practically confirmed efficiency of technologies of the teachings of Grigory Grabovoi to stop this pandemic. Simultaneously with the establishment of the crime under the article of the Criminal Code genocide of the TV show Longo against Grabovoi is currently being considered in many states for the signs of other crimes under other articles of the Criminal Code of these states. In connection with the above, I would like to inform you that Article 49 of the law of the Russian Federation of December 27, 1991, number 2124-1, as amended on March 1, 2020, on the mass media, obliges the journalist to check the accuracy of the information he is reporting. When carrying out professional activities, a journalist is obliged to respect the rights, legitimate interests, honor, and dignity of citizens and organizations. It is not allowed to use the rights of a journalist established by the law for the purpose of concealing or falsifying socially significant information, spreading rumors under the guise of reliable messages, collecting information in favor of an outside person or organization that is not a mass media. It is prohibited to use the right of a journalist to disseminate information in order to defame a citizen solely on the basis of gender, age, race, or nationality, language, attitude to religion, profession, place of residence and work, as well as in connection with their political convictions. Article 51. In accordance with the Code of Professional Ethics of the Russian journalist, a journalist shall disseminate and comment only on the information in the reliability of which he is convinced, and the source of which is well known to him. He shall make every effort to avoid causing harm to anyone by his incompleteness or inaccuracy, by deliberate concealment of socially significant information or dissemination of deliberately false information. The journalist's refusal to separate opinions from facts, their confusion of heterogeneous information violates Article 49 and Article 51 of the Federal Law on the Mass Media, the Code of Professional Ethics of Journalists, and the International Principles of Professional Ethics of Journalists. According to Article 56 of the Law on Mass Media, founders, editorial officers, publishers, distributors, state bodies, organizations, institutions, enterprises, and public associations, officials, journalists, authors of disseminated messages and materials are responsible for violations of the legislation of the Russian Federation on the mass media. The broadcaster is responsible for the compliance of the broadcasted information of a TV channel, radio channel with the requirements of the legislation of the Russian Federation. It follows from the Code of Professional Ethics of a Russian journalist. After making sure that false or distorted material has been published, a journalist is obliged to correct his mistake using the same printing and or audiovisual means that were used when publishing the material. If necessary, he must apologize through his organ of press. The basis for filing this application is that a TV show Longer against Grabovoi, discrediting the personality of Grigory Grabovoi, prevents the implementation of protective measures against mutations of viruses and protection of the gene pool, which are set out in the confirmed anticipating forecast of Grigory Grabovoi of April 2002. Since the anticipating forecast of Grigory Grabovoi was confirmed for the first two events, we should expect confirmation of the controlling forecast that it is necessary to prevent the danger from mutation of viruses and the danger to the gene pool. Therefore, these illegal actions of the media against Grigory Grabovoi, preventing the implementation of measures for protection according to his forecast, threaten me personally, my health, and ensure the victim status for me. Virus mutations and possible effects on the gene pool are dangerous to an indefinite circle of people, and the actions of this media result in the fact that the accurate forecast of Grigory Grabovoi and the implementation of measures due to which early protection can be provided are now not performed due to the slanderous discrediting of the personality of Grigory Grabovoi, humiliation of his honor, dignity, and business reputation. And this really threatens everyone. In my opinion, the corpus delicti of the criminal publication should be qualified as genocide of the people, and which contains signs of the corpus delicti of Article 357 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation. Based on the foregoing, guided by Articles 140-145 of the Code of Criminal Procedure of the Russian Federation, please initiate a criminal case against the persons responsible for the release of the film Longer against Grabovoi under Article 128.1 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation, libel. Article 357 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation, genocide. Article 205.1 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation, assistance in terrorist activities. And Article 294 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation, obstruction to the administration of justice. Bring to criminal responsibilities those responsible for the release of the film Longa against Grabovoi under Article 121.1 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation, libel. Article 357 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation, genocide. Article 205.1 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation, assistance to terrorist activities, and Article 294 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation, obstruction to the administration of justice. Recognize me as a victim of the actions of those responsible for the release of the film Longa against Grabovoi under Article 128.1 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation, libel. Article 357 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation, genocide. Article 205.1 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation, assistance in terrorist activities. And Article 294 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation, obstruction to the administration of justice. Date, May 14, 2020. At the time of the creation of this video, the TV Center television company again aired on November 16, 2021, the program Longa against Grabovoi. And the program of this channel also has another show on November 20, 2021. Also, at the time of this video creation, all points of the forecast given by Grigory Grabovoi in 2002 have been confirmed. The presence of the virus, distribution it from China, virus mutations, its danger to the gene pool.